They want to maximize profit at the detriment of Nigeria citizens. So it's called for concern. So it's shifting gradually, and time will come where outsourcing will dominate every firm, every organization, and we just don't speak well as a country, because the way this outsourcing stuff is being practiced in northern neighboring country is not as it is in this country. So it's shifting gradually, and that is our worry.
Now, as the national president of NUBIFIE, what are the major concerns you have regarding the increasing use of outsourced workers in the financial sector?
Yeah, our concern and then our worries is that what will our children come to meet in time to come? Are they going to outsource their destiny in totality? The answer is worrisome. So the worry is that the bank profession and the insurance profession is no longer there. People are demoralized. And when people don't have a stake, anything can happen.
True.
So these are the worries, and these are the concern. So if I know that I am going to gainfully get the employment in my own country with all the remuneration, with all the career paths, that at the end of my 35 years or when I'm 60 years in age, then I should be able to go. I should be happy that I will be going home with my gratuity and my pension. So, but if it is an outsource, they will only say 1 month in lieu of notice. Where is the professionalism come to play? So it's demoralizing. It kills the career path of every individual as a citizen. So it's a major concern for us as a union.
So what factors are driving financial institutions to rely more on outsourced employees?
Yeah, like I said earlier on, the bank and insurance want to make profit. They want to also shift the risk base to the outsourcing company. That if somebody is involved in a fraud that will amount to about 2.something billion or 2.3 billion, or as the case may be, rather than the bank or the insurance to undertake that risk, they prefer to shift it to an outsourcing company. So they don't have anything to do with an individual, or as an organization, they don't want to bear that risk. So instead, they will now shift it to an outsourcing company. All they need to do is the SLA that they will sign with them. We will have that the service level agreement that they have. We will now say, okay, now that your staff that you employ, that is a third party practices. That they will now go back. They don't have anything to do with such employee. They will say it is their company. So it's worrisome.
It's actually very
worrisome.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Now, how has outsourcing affected job security, career growth, and welfare of workers in the financial industry?
The significant effect of that outsourcing is people are demotivated. Like I said, they become like they are not happy, and the worst thing that you could have as an organization is to have a disgruntled staff working with you. Every of that thing that they does, they want to sabotage the process, and that is a risk. They are not happy because what they are earning does not commensurate with what they are doing. Number one, they interface with customers of the bank and insurance and another financial institution. The same risk, if armed robber come to bank or insurance to carry whatever they want to carry, it is the people who are there, whether you be permanent staff or whether you are an outsourced staff, the risk is all of them. But when it comes to pay, it's just like a case of elephant and rat. Elephant will be very big, rat will continue to, but even though they are in the same environment. So those are the issues.
So when it comes to paying them, they pay
peanut, and then they pay the cost staff a very high medicine. And when it comes to pension, when it comes to gratuity, you now discover that the pay disparity is on the high side, even though they are doing the same work, facing the same risk. So it's worrisome.
Now, I want us to dwell more on the salaries between outsourced workers and permanent employees. salaries, the benefits, workplace protection.
Yeah, when it comes to workplace protection, that is where the union will now come in, because we are not going to agree, because they are also a worker, and that they have a protection. The law is there. The ILO Convention 181 and Convention 187, and also protect every workers in any organization. And then the Labor Act also protect the integrity of the people on arbitrary termination without no cause. I didn't steal anything, I didn't defraud. How comes you just terminate my appointment without notice, and you are telling me to go with 1 month in lieu of notice? We will not agree. They are supposed to assess the collective bargaining, which is the CB. So if that infraction take place, then we'll roll up our sleeve to be able to confront the issue headlong. But for the core staff, the union also hold them in esteem to also protect them as well. So the law does not say either you are an outsourced staff or you are a core staff or permanent staff of the district. The law covers all of them. But when it comes to change, they want to change them in the name of you are a source staff, you are what do they call it? You are a permanent staff. So that discrimination, the discrimination line is where our worry is. Because in your own citizen, in your own citizen, that somebody will come and outsource your destiny, and that forever you are working, you cannot even boast of getting a car for yourself. You cannot even think about getting a plot of land anywhere, not even a choice property. You cannot afford it because of the wages. So these are the issues.
It's actually really bad, because come to think about it, what's going to happen to the mental health of these outsourced staffs? How do we expect them to feel? Anyways, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, they feel demoralized. Every day they are agitating. Every day they are crying and wailing. And it is the government. It is the government responsibility to be able to look at the legal framework that guide this outsourcing in this country. Yes, they brought it it's a borrowed system. Like I told you, in 2000, 2001, 2003, there's nothing like outsourced staff in this country. And we are quite aware about that. Gradually, the paradigm shift is shifting from the people that are meant to be outsourced as so per se, but now they are taking them to a more technical function, which does not also speak well.
So do you believe outsourcing has been beneficial to the growth of the financial sector, or has it created more challenges?
Yeah, no, to them it's beneficial because they are saving money, they are changing people. If I'm supposed to collect about 1.2 million maybe per month, and you decide to give me 500,000 or 200,000, but because I also want to get job so that I can be living home after graduating from university, after having my master, and even some of those SOF that you see, they have masters, they have BSc, they have a PhD, but because there is no work, they prefer to take something, and at the end of the day they leave home. And at the end of the day, they get something to their cover. At the end of the day, the family will also feed. So, not that they are happy taking that job. They are happy because they need to live. So, to them, it's beneficiary. To us as a worker, it's a disadvantage.
More challenges.
Yes. It's a disadvantage this is for us.
Now, what role should the government's policy play in regulating outsourcing practices and protecting the workers' rights?
No, like I said earlier on, the law has ever been there, and is the implementation process strategy that is the problem. The law is there, the ILO Convention, which is ratified, is there, the Labor Act is also there, then the Union Constitution is also there. I think about 2 or 3 years when His Excellency Senator Ngige was there, he did a outsourcing guideline for some of the organization when he has identified the way the recruiter contractors are behaving. He now decided to put up a section of the process to be able to guide their regulation, guide what they are doing. But up to today, there is no implementation. He signed it. So it is the implementation process that is the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because the laws are
out
already
there.
Interesting. But what do they need to do to implement these rules?
Yeah, I think what government should do in the NS is to call for a critical stakeholders meeting, both the employers association, both the union, and then of course any interested organization. Then the media too can also be invited to cover that in live, so that everybody will know that it's not going to be a business as usual. Throw it to them, do a critical stakeholders meeting, and then let's come together and then identify all this gap. If that gap is identified, implementation, we can follow up with them.
So are Nigerians' current labor policies strong enough to address the challenges faced by outsourced workers? I think we spoke about that.
Yes, we spoke about that because
is the law strong?
Yeah, very strong indeed.
It's just
very strong indeed, but it's the implementation that is the problem. And then the then Minister of Labor identified that gap, and he put up a sectorial guideline for outsourcing staff in banking and insurance, and that has never been implemented. This is 3 or 4 years down the line.
So what impact do taxation policies have on financial institutions and their employees?
The taxation is not is also part of the challenges for workers. I want to say this in a very good clear terms, that double taxation will not pay anybody, will not pay the workers, will not pay the citizen, will not pay the trade, the market women and men. It will not pay anybody, because by the time you pay a tax for one particular medicine, like radio and television for instance, when you have your insurance, you have everything, that the document that the vehicle will also ought to have. Now, when you are driving on the road, maybe from here to Ibadan, somebody will jump up to your vehicle and say the radio and television, whatever. And before then, Lagos State must have also collected its own. Ogun State will now stop you on the road and say they want to collect the same thing. That the revenue of Lagos go to Lagos, the revenue of Ogun go to Ogun. So these are double taxation. If they can streamline it to say, if you have a single a payment for a particular radio, for instance, I think it will survive across all the states in Nigeria. So it's the double taxation that is the problem. Double taxation is a problem. So the only way that government can do it is to have it as a single digit, to say if I have paid a tax for this my phone, if I recharge this phone again, I don't need to pay any tax again.
Yeah.
I will pay tax during the purchase of my phone, and then when I recharge, at every recharge I have, there will be tax on it. That is double.
It's not nice.
It's just like when you have you are in Lagos and you have a fire certificate from federal fire service, then Lagos State will say that every statutory payment for anything that has to do with revenue in Lagos will also have to this. So you go back and get the same certificate from Lagos State Fire Service. So these are double entry.
So how do tax obligations and deductions affect the income and welfare of workers, especially outsourced employees?
Yeah, like I rightly said, the tax affected staff member or workers generally because the take home pay is nothing to write about. So by the time you check the tax deduction from every wages, it will apparently tell on the workers, because if you want to analyze on how this payment of salaries affect the workers, is in principle and is in food. Now your house rent is connected to it. The landlord will collect their own bit. The fuel you buy in your car, when you get to filling station, they will tax part of it, and then the office where workers also work, they also pay tax to government. After taking from your salary, every other thing that you purchase, items have been deducted, VAT and other thing. Withholding tax have been paid. Like a developed country, by the time your tax is deducted, at the end of every section, either biannually, I am not too sure, you take it to tax office. That tax that you paid
will be refunded
back to you. Like I traveled to Thailand, and at the exit of the airport, whatever that you buy, you present the receipt of that payment, that money will be refunded to you. But I do not think that Africa or Nigeria, whether they practice such practices. So it's a concern.
I mean, for other countries like USA, I think for citizens, they don't really get the money back, the taxes back. But for foreigners, people that just, if you came for like a short stay, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, by the time you're going back to your homeland, you definitely get your money. Yeah, you definitely get your money back. Because they did the same for me too. When I was coming back, they did give me my taxes back.
That's okay. So
do current tax policies support job creation in the financial sector, or do they place additional pressure on employers and workers?
It does not pay because it creates another problem, because the money that we were shouting, we're talking about
was not enough.
Now tax it again.
More out of it.
So if I have my way, I'll tell government that every citizen should go a tax way free.
Yeah.
And then let them target the industry, people like Dangote who are multi-millionaires. They'll be able to tax them and then bring it to food and then do all the infrastructure that is needed for the citizen. Because
I personally feel like this was not even this is not what we needed right now.
Yeah.
You know, the people were already complaining about what they had. Now you're trying to take out of it, and I understand that is not taxes doesn't mean everybody is paying. You know, so people don't even know what the tax is all about. So they're just screaming, "Hey, my money, the money that's not enough." You know, they're trying to, even if they don't really know what it means. But regardless, this is not really what the country needs right now. If you ask me, there are other sectors, other parts, other departments that could be looked into and even, you know, upgraded before this thing is coming. Because if you look at it, you have to be a developed or developing country to bring this type of things in, you know. And Nigeria at this point, we're not even developing, we're underdeveloped.
People are struggling,
you know.
People, the workers especially, you know, because I'm a worker and I know I wear the shoe and I know where it pinches every individual. The tax should not be even the bit or the paramount thing to do. It is, they should take the welfare of every citizen, the safety of every individual is more paramount than any other thing. Now collect tax from me on your way home, they carry you. So where will the tax? You are suffering in losses of your of your money. You are suffering from the health challenges. You are suffering from any other medicine, and then yet on top of even somebody that is on the sick bed. And you say because he collects salary today, the salary that is not even enough, you now tax it on top again. Who will help? And so they renew hope. Maybe I think it's one-sided, I do not know. But I also think that the government should look into it and look at those who are being paid salary less should be exempted completely.
Yeah, I think you have to earn about 900,000 dirham, no, about a certain amount before you get taxed, you know. So for there's some really small enterprises that don't get taxed right now because they're not earning a particular amount. You know, for businesses, you have to be earning a particular amount to get taxed. And then for employees, you have to be earning a particular amount in a year. If your money calculated in a year is not up to that amount, then you don't need to be taxed. But regardless, I still do not think, you know, it should. I really do not think that's what we need right now. But because if the company is paying taxes, because of course a company, if you have a company, a big company, you're going to pay taxes because your money is going to be more than which is going to affect the salaries of the workers. Because indirectly it's either they get reduced or they don't get paid on time, or the time for more salaries or the increase in salary it's longer now. You know, you just keep getting paid that amount for a long time, which is not really nice.
Is a paramount thing that every other person should think about. If I'm living very well, I don't mind, I can pay any figure deduct me, pay me well.
Yes.
But if the money is not enough and you tax it on top again, it's just like pay for what you don't have.
The money is being circulated, like
Yes.
it's just going around. But anyways, what role should financial institutions play in ensuring fair treatment and better working conditions for outsourced staff?
Yeah, the regulators the people that give them recruiter license, which is the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, should go after those who are not complying with what the law of the land is saying. Now, the China or Chinese, other people, Singapore, those who have business in Nigeria, and Nigerian citizens are working there. But because our people have subchanged them, and if you look at the HR for each of those organizations, it is Nigerians that are there. And rather than for them to better people's life, they are even our people who are subchanging our own members, our own people especially. So government should put a legal framework that they will be able to checkmate the activities of those set of people. That is the only way. If not so, people will continue to do this is how we've been doing it, and that is how they do it. It become a trend, and other people are borrowing it. But if there are sanctions and regulatory monitoring, I think people will be afraid of sanction, and then of course they will be able to do it well.
That monitoring is really essential. It's really essential because I know these laws exist. People just don't abide with the laws, So I think it actually needs to be implemented.
Yeah.
They need to be out there. So now that's for the government. Now speaking about NUBIFIE, how can NUBIFIE and other stakeholders work together? With the government and employers to address concerns around outsourcing.
Like I said earlier on, I think there should be a stakeholders forum meeting where we'll lay this foundation on the drawing board to be able to look at how best can they do outsourcing in Nigeria or in Africa per se. Even Ghana here, the way they practice outsourcing there is excellent. People who are core staff of organization, they resign and then join the outsourcing company because they have all the benefit. They pay them well, they have a very good remuneration package, and that while they are young, they will be able to get whatever that is accrued to them and then use it while they are alive. You can't begin to say you want to save money for me until I'm 60, 70 years. How are you sure that the lifespan of every individual is up to 150 to 130? Give me this money now, let me use it, invest it, and then enjoy my life and train my children, and then move on. You understand? So that is the truth. If somebody say you are a full staff, we will be paying you peanuts or pay you this thing, we will begin to save this one for you until when you retire. Are you sure that man, the lifespan of a man is it up to 90 or 100
but
days?
the questions like that are you get consent for it, right? They don't just, or are the companies that actually implement the pension contract?
No. I think it's a process. It is the people, because of changing people for their own benefit, they will now decide to say, okay, today you are a great level, maybe in bank or insurance, and that you are a senior teller or an associate teller, and then somebody will now decide to say, okay, I'm not going to wait at this thing because I know that our sourcing company pay more than what I'm earning. I prefer to go there. Let me get this money in quantum and then plan my life rather than waiting until I continue. That does not also work. Yeah, so it's not good.
So with the growth of technology and digital banking, do you expect outsourcing in the financial sector to increase or reduce in the coming years?
Technology without another thing, to have a technology in place, gadgets cannot operate itself. It needs human involvement to be able to perfect it. So as the system is evolving, people are also training get trained to be able to get acclimatized to what the technology is also saying. So people will get used to it, and then when they do a place of 5 people job, maybe with the aid of technology and every necessary human being, I think it will also work well. Okay. But people too are also getting involved to ensure that they get up to get used to that this thing and upgrade themselves to that standard, and so that there will be no job loss. Yeah.
So what measures can be taken to ensure outsourcing does not negatively affect workers' rights and career opportunities? I mean, we did mention a couple, but can we go over it again?
Yeah, the measure to be taken is for government to stand very firm and then monitor them, ensure that those laws that are already in place or in existence can be fully implemented and ensure that they follow them up for proper implementation. If they don't follow it up and you give them a recruiter license to go and outsource a third-party employment, they will continue to subchange, and that problem, that epidemics will continue to be there. And if it's not neat on the board, our generation to come will also inherit it, and prosperity will not even go well with those who are shadowed with that responsibility to deal with that matter and monitor the process. Yes.
So what lessons can Nigerians learn from other countries on managing outsourcing within the financial sector?
I think they should also find out how has a source company been practiced even in our neighborhood here. And then if they have the legal framework to be able to see that this thing is in place. Yes, we are not saying they should not be outsourcing because it's a law that also back them up. But how they carry it out is the worries. So they can learn from other countries who are doing it better. NECA can also get involved and say this is what is happening in other organizations, and then they can bring it on board and then call a critical stakeholder where Ministry of Labour will be there, where National Assembly will also be they can put it before them to rectify this thing, and so that they can monitor the process. And that will do every citizen of this country very, very good. Because Tinubu is preaching Renew Hope agenda. Renew Hope agenda is to a sectorial. Some people are not seeing that what is this thing, because the same as our staff will continue to grumble. Some people cannot even go home because they don't, the money is not enough. So it's worrisome.
Some people even go as far as trekking a mile before even getting on the bus.
In the last 15 years, the country that we are witnessing today, I have never seen it, because a young man who will dress on suit and will tell you that since yesterday he has not taken anything, and he would tell you that is how the country.
Jesus, you never can tell what people are going through just by looking at them, because I see people actually walk a mile before getting on the bus because they're trying to cut costs.
Cut costs. You know.
And they have to get back to work the next day.
The next day, they'll be there. And that money will never be there. They borrowed some of them borrowed on salary. As the salary is dropping, you pay the one that you have collected in arrears, and then wait for the next one. Like that, and like that. So
it's actually really bad.
Intervention.
It's actually really
and
bad.
It's a human made. It's not God made. Yes.
Finally, what recommendations would you give to governments, financial institutions, and workers to create a fairer and more sustainable employment system in Nigeria's financial industry?
Yeah, government should ensure that they have a stiff sanction for those that they have the third-party agent who have the license to practice outsourcing in Nigeria. How are they doing it? The regulator should look at their book, look at what the remuneration, how are they doing it? In banks today, if banks are not doing very well, CBN will go there and then look at their book, either quarterly or biannually or yearly. So if you are not doing well, this is area that you are not doing well, improve on it. If by the time they come back again and it's still the same status quo, they will sanction them, either 50 million or 10 million, as the case may be. That pronouncement alone, because they don't want to pay that penalty, they will be forced to do the right thing. So I think if government can beam their searchlights on third-party recruiters and then follow up with the Ministry of Labour, who gave them that license to operate. If they don't do well, then they can shut them down and revoke that license. Yes.
And that brings us to the end of another wonderful section on Hacks the Expert segment on Trade FM today. Thank you for joining us, Comrade Anthony Abakpa, and for sharing your valuable insight and perspective on outsourcing practices within Nigeria's financial sector and their impact on workers and employment. Today's discussion has highlighted the importance of balancing business efficiently with the protection of labor rights, with equity, employee welfare, career development, and the responsibilities of governments and financial institutions in creating a fair and sustainable work environment. As Nigeria's financial industry continues to evolve through policy changes, taxation